Last week, Kevin Slayton on another radio station, WGNU, along with Jack Clark, were having a conversation about steroids in which Jack Clark said that he was working with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the trainer for the Dodgers at the time worked with Albert Pujols in Kansas City, and according to Jack Clark, said that this trainer told me that Albert Pujols used steroids. Jack Clark said on the air, "I know for a fact Albert is taking steroids." Both of them were fired. Albert Pujols threatened to sue, and yesterday we get word that Jack Clark's newest attorney is none other than our old friend, attorney Chet Pleban. Good morning, Chet Pleban. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you. I am not here to talk about the past. I just want to let you know that up front, all right?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
How did this come to be?
Well, I mean, they have a conversation. You know, it's at their doorstep. They didn't ask about all this steroid controversy, the A-Rod situation,
right.
You know, Braun, all that. So it comes up in conversation, and certainly the comment is made. And Jack Clark stands by that particular comment.
Jack Clark not only said it, and you say stands by it,
right.
goes on a national radio show later on Friday,
right.
says the same thing, and then tweets it all weekend long, then hires you. So clearly Jack Clark is not backing away from his original
he's
comments.
not backing away from it. The guy. You know, his position is that the guy said it to him, and he's standing by what he did was he repeated what the man told him. You know, and actually, when you stop and you think about it, you know, here it is in the middle of a radio show. And, you know, this isn't scripted, as you well know. So they're talking as we're talking right now, and the conversation comes up, and he makes the comment. Well, there's a lot of detail in that comment that is very hard, in my opinion, for him to make up off the cuff on the spot. And clearly, he has had a relationship with this trainer. He had a relationship with him when he was with the Single-A Dodger team
right.
down in Florida. Knew the guy. The guy was from Kansas City, and so there's a whole background thing involved.
It's the comment allegedly happened in 2000.
Yes.
Jack Clark has been on virtually every radio station since 2000 as some type of analyst, talking head, guest, whatever else. Steroids has come up. Why now, 13 years later, does he reveal this conversation?
Well, I don't. First of all, at the time that he was employed by the Cardinal organization, certainly, do you think he would last very long if he said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to do a little color commentary here," and "Oh, by the way, I think that this trainer told me this." Well, he'd be fired before the sentence was completed, I'm guessing.
Right.
And so, you know, in the context of what happened here, this is. You know, A-Rod and 100 people on the hook, et cetera. So I don't know necessarily that he didn't comment about that before, but certainly the context in which it came up, this is a huge, huge story given the context in which A-Rod and those folks, lifetime bans are being discussed, those sorts of situations. So.
Have you been contacted by Albert's attorneys? Has he done anything in terms of forwarding some type of lawsuit? He threatened a lawsuit. Is it coming? Have you talked to his lawyers or anything on that?
No, frankly, I was out of town when I didn't know what happened here. I just came back. Maybe I should.
Well, more people heard it after. Very, very few people heard it live. Many more heard it afterwards.
Well, you know, here's the thing. You file. We get people in our office all the time that say, so-and-so said this about me. Really? Okay. And that's defamatory. Right. And I've been damaged. Okay. And so what do you want to do? Well, I want to file a lawsuit. Well, all right. So what you want to do then is for those people that didn't hear about it, you want to make sure that they hear about it when you file that particular lawsuit.
Right.
So no, I haven't. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean,
but you haven't been in contact with any of his representatives. You don't know if he has filed anything or anything along.
No, but I just got involved in this, and now we're in the process of doing. You know, litigation is a fact-intense type situation. You go into that courtroom, and when it's controlled by rules of evidence, there's a lot of discovery that occurs. So, you know, there are a lot of things that you do before the actual trial. For example, we'd want to know the background of this trainer. We'd want to know, you know, where he's been. We want to know, you know, how long he, for example, I think he went with the Royals. We want to know how long he was with the Royals. We want to know if and when he parted company with the Royals and why.
This guy was involved in some steroid allegations with some other players.
That's another issue that we'd have to look at.
And Major League Baseball went went through an exhaustive report on steroids. Major League Baseball never contacted Jack Clark to talk about this trainer. Jack Clark never volunteered this information to Major League Baseball.
I'm not aware of that at this point. I haven't asked that question specifically.
Right.
I'm not aware one way or the other whether that contact was made.
We all know Jack.
And when you talk about Major League Baseball did an investigation, that's a quote unquote.
Well,
I'm guessing that their investigation may be a little different than the investigation that we do under these circumstances.
Okay, fair enough. We all know Jack Clark. We all know him to be a very outspoken individual.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't hold his tongue. Tells people what he thinks. Has not been shy about telling people how angry he is with steroid users, including Mark McGwire. I think he's quoted as saying that he refuses to shake his hand. I've seen Jack at Albert's charity events, friendly with Albert. If he's known from 2000 that he was a steroid user, it seems like he treats Mark McGwire one way and Albert a different way.
Well, I don't know. And when you back up and you talk about when he was doing some commentary, I think for the Cardinals. I think that we'll find out later on that there were certain things, frankly, that he was prohibited from talking about. And there are certain things that he was prohibited from doing.
So the Cardinals or Fox Sports Midwest told him he couldn't say certain things?
I'm not going to say that right at the moment, but that is an issue, I think, that needs to be explored to answer definitively the question that you're posing under the circumstances. I think your question's a fair one, but I think that there's more to that than just asking the question. And again, I think a lot of this stuff is going to play out. If Albert Pujols decides to litigate,
right,
which is certainly his prerogative, that certainly will play out. A lot of things will play out, and a lot of questions will have to be answered.
Is Jack Clark going to sue the radio station and/or Tim McKernan?
We didn't talk about that. I know that's if one of the elements of any defamation too is the New York Times versus Sullivan standard, because he's a public official, so it's actual malice, reckless disregard, those things. So bottom line is he's got to show damage too.
Right.
And what damage is Albert Pujols going to show? If anybody's been damaged, it's been Jack Clark.
I got 40 seconds. Is Jack Clark going to talk? Are you going to talk for him going forward? What's going to happen?
I don't know. We'll have to make that decision. Again, I got back into town on Monday. I'm kind of a little bit of a newcomer to this, and so I suspect that, eventually, after I can get a little bit more of a handle on this whole situation, that he'll be making statements.
That is Chet Pleban, ladies and gentlemen, attorney for Jack Clark. I'm sure you'll be back in this hot seat a couple more times.
I at least get a dressing room. I had a clean shirt. I had to put a clean shirt on.
Chet Pleban, we will tweet it out and Facebook it out if you missed any of it. 8 o'clock, KTR.